Absolutely shocking. That's how I describe the news headlines for today. There's a few there that you're going to think, nah, it can't be true. You probably won't say it like that, but you know. Am I late? Yes, I am. I've been trying to set up a 2-screen computer and it's done. But I've got a laptop here, I've got a laptop there, I've got 2 screens here, but obviously they're not on. I need to get a webcam, got my keyboard and my mouse. It's all going on here. The setup is just getting better and better. So for me to get the computer, I had to say to the missus, yes, okay, I'll buy you a TV for the kitchen too. But yes, the news, absolutely shocking news. But the thumbnail, that's the story. It is absolutely crazy. You couldn't make it up. Once again, a completely 100% innocent person becomes a victim. And it's because of an asylum seeker. Yes, believe it or not, an asylum seeker. But I can't put that in the video title because, like everything, it gets shadow banned. But I am currently fighting the channel being shadow banned already. But, you know, what can I do? But here is the actual story. A hotel worker stabbed 23 times by an asylum seeker. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Stop letting in illegal immigrants. Now, this young lady has paid with her life. Rhiannon Skye Whyte. An asylum seeker was seen dancing and laughing after stabbing a hotel worker more than 20 times on a railway station platform and leaving her for dead. A murder trial jury has heard. Deng Chol Majek was clearly excited about what he had done after inflicting a total of 23 stab wounds on Rhiannon Skye Whyte, mainly to her head, at Walsall's Bescot Stadium Station, Wolverhampton Crown Court was told. Jury heard on Tuesday how Majek, who is from Sudan and claims to be 19, was caught on CCTV as he followed Miss Whyte from the Towns Park Inn hotel and being used to house asylum seekers on October 20th last year. So then being used, Shocking. Miss Whyte, whose shift had finished at 11 p.m, was heard screaming during a phone call to a friend, was found by a train guard on the platform minutes later, prosecutor Michelle Healy, KC, told the court. Opened the Crown Court's case, Majek, Miss Healy told the court he followed the 27-year-old from the hotel where he was living. He followed her down on the train platform at the Bescot Stadium station, and then he attacked her, stabbing her over and over with a screwdriver. He left her bleeding to death and then casually went back to his hotel. We say you can be sure he is guilty of murder. Jurors were told that Miss Whyte had worked at the hotel for about 3 months, helping with things including cleaning and serving food, while the defendant was a resident in room 309. During the evening, one of Rhiannon's co-workers noticed this defendant. He seemed to be staring at Rhiannon and the woman she was working with. No one could recall any particular issue that would have caused him to act that way. There had been an issue about some broken biscuits with some of the residents, but nothing serious. You mean people are actually going to moan about a broken biscuit? What is clear from the CCTV is that the defendant was hanging around the reception area, staring at Rhiannon throughout the evening. He changed into a distinctive jacket and sandals and then waited around the reception area where Rhiannon was. CCTV tracks the defendant all the way. He followed her from the hotel and to the station. He had been hanging around, waiting for her to leave, and waited until she was on her own before he followed her. And Miss Whyte called a friend at 11:04 p.m. and she was caught on CCTV at 11:08 p.m. with Majek following 2 minutes later. Majek then closed the gap to 90 seconds and then 30 seconds as she reached the deserted platform at 11:13 p.m. It was then that the prosecution say that the defendant attacked her. Rhiannon had been talking to her friend, but it went silent before the friend heard a scream and then another scream, and the phone went dead at 11:19. Shortly after this, the defendant could be seen running back up the stairs from the platform. He had an object lit up in his hand. That was Rhiannon's mobile phone. Miss White's friend, having heard screams, called the police, who contacted the hotel, who sent one of their employees to the station. The train that Rhiannon had been due to catch pulled in at 11:24 p.m. and the driver saw the figure slumped on the platform. The guards tried to help Rhiannon, as did the employee who had come from the hotel, but sadly she was too seriously injured and nothing could be done to save her. She passed away on October 23rd, having never regained consciousness. Majek denies murder and possessing a screwdriver as an offence's weapon. Like, how do you even deny it? Absolutely ridiculous. So you just finish your work and you get attacked by an asylum seeker. And this is why it's so blooming dangerous, letting in illegals who lob away all their credentials, all their paperwork, everything. So they can literally just make up anything they want. And then here they are in our country with an ideology that's normally 99% Islamic. So they literally have no respect for women or young girls or for life, really. And here we have it. And this is exactly what happens. And that's why it has to stop. It really has to stop. Oh, I don't know what you can really say about that. It's just absolutely awful. But yeah, the young lady is paid with her life because we can't control illegal immigration. So, and do you know what half the problem is? Is because people are saying like, oh, illegal immigrants welcome. They're actually like calling for the death of the Jews and supporting Islamic terrorism and Palestine. And here we even have an Oxford University student who was screaming out, put the Zios in the ground as part of his chant at a pro-Palestine protest. This is how deluded they are. I mean, is this what an education is? Is this what they pay for? Because it's ridiculous. But for what he said, he's literally calling for the murder of Jews. So is anyone going to do anything? Nope. We've got Islamophobia. You can be Islamophobic, but no, don't worry about judophobia or being judophobic. That doesn't exist, mate. No. But apparently Islamophobia does. And you can call for the death of all Jews, but you're not allowed to point out anything and everything that is wrong with Islam and its ideology and its oppressive, murderous, satanic words as written in the Quran and the Hadiths. Do not say a word about that. But no, you can literally chant about putting Jews in the ground. An Oxford University student was filmed encouraging crowds to chant about putting Zios in the ground. I think I saw this on GB News, I think it was. I actually saw the video of him chanting. And he's like chanting with anger, screaming for the death of Jews. People, one, they don't know anything about history, and two, they seem to have a lot of hate. And that's why Islam is obviously being supported by pro-Palestine. The footage captured during a protest on October the 11th shows a young man wearing a keffiyeh addressing demonstrators through a speaker. He won't go to Palestine and do anything there, though. He told the crowd about a chant that had been developed in Oxford, saying a chant that we've been workshopping in Oxford that maybe you guys want to join in. And if you joined in, you're an idiot. And you need to get a refund on your education because you're deluded. The Metropolitan Police has launched an investigation into the incident, and rightly so, which occurred one day after a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas took effect in Gaza on October the 10th. Because they don't want peace. They want to play the victim, pull them, and they just want to carry on screaming their Jew hatred. The individual praised what he called a steadfast and noble resistance in Palestine and in Gaza to look to be inspired by, before introducing the chant. So, a steadfast and noble resistance in Palestine and in Gaza to look up to be inspired by. I mean, that in itself, like, so he is literally supporting Islamic terrorism. Is that the future, is it? I see we have all the hate marches. They're not protests, they're hate marches. From the river to the sea is literally the same as what this idiot was shouting. It means the same thing. If you want to put Zions in the ground, it's the same as saying river to the sea to literally wipe Israel and the Jews off the map. I mean, what is up with these people? He then led the crowd in shouting, Gaza, Gaza, make us proud. Put the Zions in the ground. Well, even I know proud and ground doesn't even rhyme. So, yeah, he definitely needs a refund. I mean, he can't even rhyme two words. What an absolute idiot. But he's literally calling for murder, which was repeated multiple times by him and other demonstrators. Literally is absolutely horrific. It's their whole mentality. They are seriously, seriously deluded individuals. I've never heard so much crap in all my life. So, YouTube City, welcome. And thank you for commenting. No such thing as Islamophobia. A phobia is an irrational fear. Exactly. And it's a rational fear of Islam, if you know it. Like being afraid of cotton wool. 46,000 plus terrorist attacks since 9/11. These Islamic pigs are trying to establish a caliphate. Yep, literally. And there's, in the last 50, 60 years, there's been 66,000 Islamic terrorist attacks. And it's killed over 250,000 innocent people. Yet they looking at Palestine. It's got a population of 5.5 million, and because 50 to 60,000 people have been killed, they want to call like the victims and say it's genocide. 50 to 60,000 people out of 5.5 million. Gaza's got over 800,000 people in it. It's about 60,000 in a war they started, and they call genocide. This is how deluded they are. We are 100% correct, and they keep trying with the caliphate, and it fails. So that in itself proves that the Quran is wrong. But to actually come out with some stupid saying like that, the Union of Jewish Students declared they were horrified by the footage, highlighting that the term Zio was originally coined by David Duke, former Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan. They called the rhetoric violent and unacceptable, particularly against what they describe as rampant glorification of Hamas terrorism on campus this week. Yep, Islamic terrorism. Here he is. He's trying to look like a Milky Bar kid wearing his keffiyeh. Probably don't even realise that that's nothing to do with them either. They're trying to steal that. It's like they're trying to steal the Jewish land. Oh, it's Palestine. No, it's not. It's Canaan and Judea and Samaria. The Jews' history goes back 4,000 years. Palestine, 58. Oh no, but Palestine. No, they are occupying Jewish land. They are the occupiers. But we're not allowed to say the truth. Doesn't fit the actual narrative, does it? We've got to have all this hate, unnecessary hate for the Jews. The organisation confirmed they have contacted Oxford University and urged decisive action regarding what they termed a deeply troubling incident. It needs to be booted out of Oxford. You do not deserve an education if you are that deluded. A Metropolitan Police spokesperson stated officers are investigating chants made at the demonstration in central London on Saturday, October the 11th, and inquiries are ongoing. How can inquiries be ongoing? You've got video footage of him saying it. You can see exactly what he's saying and what it means. So it seems a bit strange. It's like literally an open and shut case. The fact is that these people, not only do they shout out absolutely deluded things, they're that deluded they record themselves doing it, so you have the evidence. The video has provoked widespread condemnation on social media platform X, with users calling for immediate action from education authorities, and rightly so. Oxford University issued a statement condemning the language in the strongest possible terms, emphasising that any rhetoric promoting violence against groups or expressing racial hatred has no place within their institution. The spokesman for the university said, "The University of Oxford condemns in the strongest possible terms any language urging violence against groups of people or expressing any form of racial hatred. The university's support for freedom of speech does not extend to any statements including such language." What is it? Because obviously they're not even saying anything about like Afghanistan and Pakistan like fighting or anything. They're like, oh no, there's no Jews involved. We want to play the victim here. We know we're 100% violent, oppressive, and we have no respect for women. And we know we've got no issue raping in them. Don't care about them. Don't care about gays. Just kill them. Throw them off a building. Hang them from a crane. Not a problem. Oh yeah, but we're going to support them. That's how stupid these people are. Oxford is unequivocally, there is no place, unequivocal, sorry. There is no place for anti-Semitism, harassment or discrimination within our community. We remain firmly committed to protecting the safety and dignity of all our students and staff. You need to be careful who's actually putting money into these places, because I did see in America that there's sort of like Islamic supporters with all their wads of cash giving loads of money to certain educational places in order for them to do certain things in favour of Islam, which is just absolutely ludicrous. Because like America and, as far as I know, Britain, they're supposed to be proud Christian countries, but no. The university has taken a number of actions in recent months in collaboration with Jewish students and staff to strengthen our approach to tackling anti-Semitism and fostering an inclusive environment. It's crazy. Like all these people, like you need to be looking at the faces to work out. And if you ever see them and work out where they live, where they work, you need to make sure they get sacked. They're literally supporting Islamic terrorism. You don't want people like that working. They need to go to Palestine and support it properly instead of just, screaming for Jews to be murdered and genocided and ethnically cleansed. That's an Islam thing. And here they are supporting it. A wave of pro-Palestine demonstrations have taken place over the last week, which Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood previously said had created considerable fear among Jewish communities. And the irony is Shabana Mahmood has clearly stated that Islam is the first thing in her life. Before absolutely anything, Islam comes first. So she's going to be one that has the right rhetoric, says the right things, but behind the scenes, Islam hates Jews. Islam hates Jews. It literally calls for the death of all Jews and then the Christians. And we already know that they have no respect for women or gays. They just kill them left, right and centre. They just don't care. That is Islam. But we're not allowed to say anything about that, are we? So shh, I'm being Islamophobic. Oh, my bad. One event in London saw 488 arrests. And that was hilarious because there's only about 1,500 people there. Yet we had 150,000 to probably 1 million at Tommy Robinson's Unite the Kingdom, September the 13th, March. There's 28, of which only 8 of them were from the Unite the Kingdom people. So was it 26 arrests? But 8 of them were from like the Tommy Robinson side of the protests. 8 out of 150,000. And here we're talking 488 out of about 1,500. We can see where the problem really lies, can't we? They were supporting banned organisation Palestine Action, which is on the government's list of terrorist groups, and rightly so, because like if you're that deluded and you're denying the fact that Palestine literally voted in Hamas and cheered on October the 7th, then you've got a problem. Several hundred protesters waved Palestinian flags and shouted, "Israel is a terrorist state." Oh, not Hamas and Palestine then, who started October the 7th and took 250 hostages and literally went through like murdering 1,200 people in a hope that this was the war they started that would actually genocide the Jews and remove them from the planet. No, Israel. How dare they defend themselves? Pathetic. And this is outside King's College London at the weekend. Mark Etkin, a retiree in his 60s from London, wore a sign around his neck saying he was the son of a Holocaust survivor. He said, "I have always opposed genocide. Of course, I support students here who are actively opposing genocide. But there is no genocide. Only October the 7th. So even he's got it wrong. You can't say it's a genocide when 50 to 60,000 people have been killed and it's a population of 5.5 million, or over 5.5 million. Protesters shouted, "From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free." There you go. Literally calling for Israel and Jews to be wiped off the map. As they marched towards Westminster on Saturday, a chant that Keir Starmer has suggested the government may crack down on. Do you may crack down on? There's no ifs, buts or maybes. You have to crack down on it. You can't let them say that. How you doing, Mr. P? Hope you're good this evening. This afternoon. But some consider the slogan to be anti-Semitic, as they believe it calls for the eradication of Israel, while proponents of the chant claim they are calling for an end to conflict in Gaza and the West Bank. See, they don't even know that. This is how stupid they are. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. That's literally saying, like, it's all going to be Palestine. And people have literally said, yeah, no Israel. So they know exactly what they're saying and they lie about it. But that's Islam, innit? Taqiyya. They lie. Former Labour leader, the idiot Jeremy Corbyn, walked at the front of the crowd across Westminster Bridge, having to carry a large banner that said National March Free Palestine. Free Palestine from Hamas. Is that what they're saying? Because obviously on October the 6th, no one gave two hoots about Palestine. October the 7th, when they tried to kill the Jews, was on there supporting them. Oh, look, we suddenly realised there's a place called Palestine. Didn't give two hoots 24 hours earlier. But they're trying to kill all the Jews. They took 250 hostages, murdered 1,200 people. Yes, free Palestine. Like, what planet are these idiots on? He stayed silent as a woman using a megaphone led the "From the river to the sea" chant. And Keir Starmer, you can't hide. We charge you with genocide when there's no genocide. Well done. Delusions are real. Your party co-founder, that's your party, like, because they haven't got an idea of what of a name to call their party. Co-founder Zara Sultana criticised the Home Secretary for switching sides on Palestine and locking up pensioners and priests for opposing the ban on Palestine action during a speech outside Downing Street. This is how deluded they are. This is how literally how stupid they are. There's like literally no word how stupid they are. I mean, what else can I say? Literally stupid. But you want to know their mentality, the mentality of the pro-Palestine activists. Then this next story will be of no surprise to you whatsoever, because believe it or not, a pro-Palestine activist is under investigation for alleged terrorism offence. What a surprise. Yeah, definitely Starmer out. That's what. Oh, me too. I've got my brew here, and I forgot I had to go live, so I've got my coffee here. So I've got two. I was running a bit late. My bad. I was doing all my screens for my PC, setting all that up. You know, living the dream. From Hamas, yes, feeling for all the heathen nations. Yeah, but no one said anything about free Palestine. October the 6th or October the 5th. Makes zero sense, doesn't it? A pro-Palestine activist who was warned by police of potential criminal charges in connection with her rally is now officially under investigation for an alleged offence under terrorism legislation. Catherine Hutton, a founder of Rise for Palestine in Derry, was handed a letter stating she was suspected of committing an offence under the Act during the August 10th rally in the city, specifically shouting support for Palestine Action, a proscribed organisation. Yep, this is how stupid they are. They're told exactly what it is, but they want to do it and defy it because this is how stupid they are. I don't know. They're doing Palestinians a favour when they voted in Hamas. They cheered on October the 7th. What more do you need to know? Oh, no, we support them. But they want to kill the Jews, ethnically cleanse, genocide. Yeah, we oppose genocide, but we support Palestine and their attempts to genocide Jews. Make it make sense. Miss Hutton was asked to contact police to arrange an interview within 10 days. They warned failure to do so may result in the activist being reported to the Public Prosecution Service without the opportunity to provide your account. I hope these people get sacked, and I hope they can't go anywhere on holiday or do anything, because obviously they're terrorist supporters. So I can't see any countries wanting to have them in there. Come in for a 2-week holiday, what, after supporting Hamas and Islamic terrorism? Don't think so. The warning is similar to others sent out to approximately a dozen individuals who have taken part in rallies in Derry where there were visible or vocal displays of support for Palestine Action, declared a terrorist or proscribed organisation by the UK government in early summer. I have no sympathy for these people. They're absolutely idiots. However, letters to the first 5, including the veteran civil rights activist Eamon McCann, made no reference to Palestine Action or what offence might have occurred. Legal representatives then wrote to police pointing this out while also arguing any move to investigate should wait pending a judicial review to overturn the decision to label Palestine Action a proscribed organisation. See, they're still going for that. No way should it. Not after what they've done. They've done like £7 million worth of damage in the RAF bases. So, no. Later letters delivered by police, including to Miss Hutton, included specific allegations. Miss Hutton is accused of addressing the crowd at the rally and chanting the words Palestine Action. So look, this is what they say. Look, I oppose genocide. I support Palestine Action, bearing in mind that they tried to genocide the Jews. This is how stupid they are. Any chance that they could actually get educated? I mean, could someone have a word with them? But I mean, they don't listen, do they? So there's just too busy full of hate supporting Islamic terrorism. They'd actually vote in, say, some sort of like Islamic ideology in this country, wouldn't they? And then they realise that it wants them dead, and they'll be like, oh, actually, well, too late now. There's you cheering for pro-Palestine, pro-Hamas, pro-Islamic terrorism. Miss Hutton previously told the Irish News she was contacted by police on the morning of the 10th of August protest and told she would be legally responsible if someone in the crowd was charged with showing support for Palestine Action and had not warned those taking part beforehand. This was due to her name being on documents filed with the Parades Commission, she said. In a statement, the PSNI said it does not comment on the specifics of individual cases. In the letter, Ms. Hutton is told she is suspected of committing an offence contrary to the Terrorism Act during the Rise for Palestine rally. The police stated that she was identified addressing a crowd at the demonstration with a microphone and chanting Palestine Action. So there you go. Another absolute idiot that has no idea about facts. It's ridiculous. But no, we're not allowed to say anything, not allowed to do anything. We just got to, okay. But percentage of London boroughs, which is white British and Irish by census, total London 1961 to 2021. 1961, 94.5, in 71, 87.1, 81, 79.4. 2001, 62.9, 2011, 47, 2021, 38.6. Well, that changed. So, yeah. Mr. P, we need people to know the truth. I fear the majority of English people are warped by the television. Yeah, they're warped by something, or they're just full of hate. But, I mean, how can they not know, even now, 2 years later, that pro-Palestine is pro-Hamas, which is pro-Islamic terrorism? How would they not know? They must know, but they choose. Oh, Palestine must be free. It was there before October the 7th. You've done nothing. You said nothing. You didn't give 2 hoots. They voted in Hamas, and they would today. They teach their kids at school to hate Jews. What more do you need to know? Oh no, we're pro-Palestine then. Oh, makes me wonder how this human race actually does what it does. But this next story, right? This geezer, I've seen him around on a few incidents. He sort of pops up everywhere, but apparently he was found dead. And obviously, he too thought October the 7th was a good thing. But do you recognise him? He's been in a few videos. I've seen him at a few different things. And the funny thing is, he lost his life not to Hamas, but to Palestinians, because they're lovely people, Palestinians, apparently. A Palestinian social media influencer living in Gaza who praised the October the 7th terror attack by Hamas on Israel has reportedly been shot dead. Salah Al-Jafari, dubbed online as Mr. Fapo, was said to have been killed in clashes between rival gangs and Hamas fighting over the weekend in the power vacuum left by the withdrawal of Israeli troops as part of the peace plan. Yeah, we've seen what Hamas has been doing. It didn't waste any time going around beating people and shooting people, did it? Al-Jafari, I don't know how to say his name. Is that right? Al-Jafari grew to become a prominent figure online after the Hamas terror attack on October the 7th, 2023, which he praised at the time. I mean, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. His following grew as he documented the subsequent war between Israel and Hamas, which raged up until a few days ago. Now a peace plan has been put in place. In a brutal twist, it appears he survived the war only to be killed in fighting between rival groups of Palestinians now vying for power in the territory. He often filmed the results of Israeli bombardments during the conflict, showing himself sobbing during airstrikes. Yeah, it was all part of the propaganda. In the following months, he appeared in several viral videos where he allegedly impersonated a wounded patient, a doctor, a journalist, and a Hamas fighter. Yep, because it's all rubbish. All propaganda. During the conflict, the US activist group Students for Justice in Palestine posted an image of Al-Jafari on Instagram with a caption, "Death to the occupation, death to Zionism, death to collaborators." Well, basically sums up all them in a nutshell there, doesn't it? He was reportedly killed during an armed clash between Hamas and the rival Dogmish group in Gaza City on Sunday. He is said to have suffered a fatal head wound. According to anti-Hamas activist Ahmed Food Al-Khatib, he was accompanying Hamas's Saham unit, possibly as a cameraman. Well, he's fought Hamas, you know what's going to happen. Pro-Israeli activists had dubbed Al-Jafari with the derogatory name Mr. FO to mean F around and find out. That's basically what he done though, wasn't it? Al-Khatib said controversial Gaza activist, derogatory called Mr. Fapo, due to his performative antics and well known for his support of Hamas. Salah Al-Jafari was killed today by unknown assailants. The Palestinian-led protest group Within Our Lifetime, based in New York, said the influencer was murdered by Zionist collaborators in Gaza after having a target on his back by the occupation for months. Oh, they've got to try and get that in now, like he was a target. You know, bearing in mind he's a Hamas supporter and he's filming them and doing all the propaganda for him. But they want to try and make out now that, he was targeted. I mean, is this for real? Wendell on Tommy's YouTube yesterday saying that they think there is like Islam, in Welsh schools, they're doing certain lessons. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, they're trying to sort of, you know, squeeze it in. But yeah, I think there's pictures, one there, where the kids were writing. They wrote down whatever, and they're young kids and all, really young. But you know, trying to like normalise Islam. It's ridiculous. Islam tries that hard. It's like obvious that it's just fake, isn't it? It tries so hard. And if you leave, you're dead. Oh, really? What a lovely religion in the name of God that is. Said no one ever kill people in the name of God. What? If you leave, you die. We welcome death more than life. Not really the message of God, is it? Oh, the group shared part of what is to believe his last will and testament, in which he told followers, I urge you to hold fast in your resistance to the path we walked and to the cause we believe in, even though it's wrong. We have known no other way for ourselves, nor found any meaning in life except for remaining steadfast upon it. You don't realise that God's not really gonna be that impressed with you, mate, supporting Islamic terrorism, and he thinks it's right. Rama Dawaji, the wife of New York City Mayor frontrunner Zoran Mamdani, shared a post about that beloved influencer on Instagram stories, where he was pictured wearing a press jacket alongside 4 broken heart emojis. Really? I think there's more important people that should be worried about that are being killed, not this idiot. You support Hamas, then we're not interested. Simple as that. You're out there filming Hamas. Oh no, that's normal. That's normal. But yeah, it is. It's literally crazy, mate. It is so crazy. You just couldn't make it up. And you know they'll be making Islam to the beautiful kids. Yeah. Of course they'll make it out. It's beautiful. It's the religion of peace. That's why there's only been 66,000 terrorist attacks that's killed over 250,000 innocent people. Yeah. Oh, definitely the religion of peace. It kills gays, oppresses women, kills women, RAPE, women. The Prophet married a 6-year-old and consummated the marriage at 9, which, I mean, at 9 you can't consent, so that's RAPE. And that's the fake prophet who had his aorta cut when it's poisoned by the Jewish lady. So anything and everything about him proves that he was also a fake prophet. So and then the worst thing is that even Shabana Mahmood was said, apparently issued an urgent warning. Terror attacks are harder to detect. You'd think that'd be easier, wouldn't you? Terror attacks are harder to detect than ever before, and with rising tide of hatred, Shabana Mahmood has admitted. What hatred? Hatred of Jews. Jihad al-Shami, 35, who was on bail for an alleged RAPE, was shot dead by police as he targeted the place of worship on Yom Kippur, the holiest day in the Jewish calendar. Al-Shami called 909, claiming responsibility for the attack. Oh, it's not saying that he's also like screaming his support for ISIS. We won't put that bit in there then. After driving at people in his car outside the synagogue and then attacked others with a knife and tried to storm it wearing a fake suicide belt. Mr. Mahmood said, the reality is we now face a domestic terrorism threat in this country that is more complex, less predictable and harder to detect than ever before. Why? Why is that? What? Because you're letting in all the Islamic ideology via illegal immigration? That makes no sense. The more people we have in this country who want to stand and support Islam, the more Islamic terrorist attacks, because the clue's there, Islamic terrorism. Oh, we don't know what the cause is. Islamic terrorism. There's a clue. No, we don't know the cause. Don't say anything like, because it says like Islamic terrorism. Don't say anything about that, because obviously that will be Islamophobia. And we're trying to get that written in. Don't worry about Judophobia, Christophobia, or any other religion phobia. Having a rational fear of a so-called religion, which is a death cult that wants to kill you. That's not an irrational fear. That's a genuine understanding of and a real fear. That threat will never be defeated unless we address the hate that fuels it. Islam. Two heroes, Melvin Kravitz, 66, and Adrian Dalby, 55, died in the attack as they tried to stop the Islamists. Security guard Mr. Dalby suffered fatal gunshot wounds fired by police at Al Shami as he stood behind the front door of the synagogue with others. Mr. Kravitz was among a group of people who tried to prevent Al Shami from storming the synagogue. Ms. Mahmood told MPs this attack has raised a question that must be answered about the security that we provide to our Jewish community. The fact they even need security in England in 2025 is disgusting. About how we address a rising tide of anti-Semitism, Islam, about how we bring communities together rather than allowing some to separate off into dark corners, Islam, including how we tackle the continued threat of Islamic extremism and those who are pulled towards its warped ideology, ban Islam. But at the same time, we must not let this attack defeat us nor forget who we really are, Christians. Because the real face of this country was not that of the vile monster who conducted this attack. It was those who stood up to him and saved their fellow worshippers and the emergency services who sprinted towards danger to bring the attack to an end. Ms. Mahmood said the government has stepped up efforts to tackle anti-Semitism in schools, universities and the NHS since the Manchester terror attack. That's debatable, isn't it? All words, no action. Ms. Mahmood told MPs that Jihad al-Shami's contact with the police is the subject of an independent office for police conduct investigation. Ms. Mahmood said MPs could unite around and agree that it's very important that everybody who comes to this country makes it their home, chooses to raise their family here, commits themselves to being the best of British. Ban Islam. It's not rocket science. Literally, ban Islam. At what point would you not ban Islam? So, there you go, mate. But yeah, you're right. It's shocking. Absolutely shocking, geez. Yep, that's the funniest bit. Yeah, his name's Jihad. His name is Jihad. Oh, it was never going to end well, was it? I've no words for that. I mean, it's that ridiculous, isn't it? Who even comes up with the idea like oh, it's a boy. Oh, is it a boy? Okay, I'll call it Jihad. Isn't it? Oh, this is my daughter. I'll call her prostitute. It's absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, it's all about the hate, all about the Islamic support, but you're not allowed to support Jews. No. For that, you get attacked, even though they are the actual ones that are innocent. But, well, but did you hear or see the woman cutting down the yellow ribbons? Apparently, as you can see there on screen, woman cut down Israeli hostage ribbons because they intimidated her. Well, I'm sorry if people being held hostage intimidates you. I mean, how dare Jewish people become hostages of Islamic terrorists because that will intimidate you? Oh, we do apologise. What an absolute retard. This is her. Nadia Yalom claims she felt offended, intimidated and threatened by the presence of, yes, yeah, ribbons. I was tipping the other day, like, you know, going through life, I could have been so much more in this life, but I was held back because people invented ribbons. How dare they? PhD student. Well, hell no. We're not having that. PhD. Wow. student cut down yellow ribbons, remembering those taken hostage in Gaza because they intimidated her. What an absolute load of rubbish. Nadia Yolam was filmed vandalising the display in Muswell Hill, North London, with scissors on October the 6th, the eve of the 2-year anniversary of the October the 7th massacre. However, the Palestinian Jewish PhD researcher claimed she wasn't aware of the significance of the date when she was confronted by passers-by. So basically, she admits she knows nothing about it, but because obviously she's being Palestinian Jewish, this is how deluded they are. As she cut the ribbons down, Miss Yalom was recorded saying, "Condoning genocide is disgusting." And that's what this is. But it's not though, is it? It's not condoning. It's literally the hostages from the Hamas genocide attempt of October the 7th. They're still being held hostage. Her actions sparked widespread condemnation from the local Jewish community and resulted in her being interviewed under caution by the Met Police, although she has not been arrested or charged. Intimidated. I've heard it all now. Miss Yalom is an Arts Council funded PhD student at the Centre for Research and Education in Arts and Media at the University of Westminster. Boot her out, exploring the topic of haunting and the supernatural in Palestinian territories. Haunting and supernatural in Palestinian territories. So she's literally just wasting her time and efforts. What an absolute waste of money. What is the point of that? Speaking for the first time since the incident, she claimed her actions were a peaceful form of protest. Yeah, well, peaceful, like, having to go at hostages. Apparently, she felt offended, intimidated, and threatened by the presence of the ribbons. Absolutely stupid. I'm a Palestinian Jewish woman. You're an embarrassment to the Jewish community. Woman living in that community who has every right to take a stance against genocide. There is no genocide. A genocide that is being conducted in my name. No, you're actually being the victim. The Jewish community and Israel are the victims of a genocidal attempt by Hamas, who were voted in by the Palestinians, and over 3,000 Palestinians followed Hamas into Israel because they wanted to kill Jews. So she's saying, once again, there's a genocide when there isn't. Remember what I said, 50, 60,000 people out of 5.5 million. That's a genocide, apparently. Right. She should be stripped of being Jewish. She's an insult to Jewish people. We're still being told that only lives worth commemorating, that only lives that have any value are Jewish lives. No one said that. But the fact is, it's the Jewish lives that are in risk, and there's 250 hostages that were taken. So that was basically what. She's an idiot. She's embarrassing. Is she actually human? Do a DNA test, because she's that stupid. She might be a rock. To me, it's astonishing that there can be moral repugnance about a handful of ribbons being cut and not generations and generations and generations of bloodlines being cut. But there isn't, though, is there? That's just absolute fabrication. There's no generations and bloodlines and all that being cut. What are you on about? You want to take it up with bloody Hamas? Or the proximity of our actions to October 7th anniversary, she said, I actually wasn't aware that it was that close to the anniversary. You're an idiot. You need to be booted out of the country. You're an embarrassment. She claimed she had become the subject of a targeted hate campaign. Oh, well. Since she cut the ribbons, with threats of assault and RAPE and violence being made against her and her family. It's a deliberate attempt on the part of those who have led this witch hunt against me to do that, to try and shift the focus. No, not really. I don't condone that, but I mean, you get on there and call her an absolute retard and say you should be banned from like any type of education because you're that stupid, you can't be educated. In what universe do we think the focus now should be on me cutting down some ribbons and not liberation for the Palestinian people? The Palestinian people voted in Hamas. They cheered on October the 7th. What are you on about? Liberation. This is all what they wanted, what they cheered for. On Saturday, her husband, Momin Swaitat, claim they have been attacked by men working for Israeli. Oh, here we go, more bullshit, trying to be the victims. Scotland Yard confirmed it was investigating threats made against individuals as well as reports of a hate crime. That's what they're going to do now. Be the victim, play the victim, yay! Yeah, do an absolute insult to hostages, innocent people, but you're the victim. All right then, love. All right, just get out of the country. The force also said it was reviewing the footage of the ribbons being cut down to determine whether any offence, including hate crime and criminal damage, have been committed. It's a hate crime. It is a hate crime. It's a blatant, obvious hate crime. There's no ifs, buts, maybe. It's a hate crime. So there we have it. But that's the news for today. So yes, what's today? Tuesday. Blimey. How time flies. But do not fear, I will be back on Wednesday at 3 p.m. with more news. And there's some shocking headlines that I've already seen. Why is there all these headlines that just seem to be around Islamic terrorism or Islamic ideology? That's what it is, literally like a cancer, and it has to be stopped. But anyway, until tomorrow, 3 p.m. For now, don't forget to like and subscribe. That is the Wizard's Words.